Hello, welcome to Alyssa Jean's Reviews. My name is Alyssa, and this is my review for Star Trek Discovery Season 4, Episode 6, titled Stormy Weather. So last week I said that since I'm off work during the Christmas week, or actually this weekend, the week after, I should have more time to do pre-recorded versions of my of reviews. Turns out, not really, because I got a busy social calendar. I'm doing a lot of other things. So I wanted to get this review in a timely manner, and the only way to do that was to come and do a quick live stream review. I hopefully will have time to do a pre-recorded, edited version of my Wheel of Time review tomorrow. But for Discovery, I'm just jumping on here and giving my thoughts. And honestly, I don't have a ton to say about this episode anyway, so it should be a pretty brief review. First of all, a spoiler warning: if you have not seen up through season 4, episode 6, blah blah blah, then you shouldn't be watching this. So my overall thoughts is I really enjoyed this episode. I think it's another strong showing from season 4 of Discovery, which continues to be really strong. It continues some of the things I've been talking about before, where it's really feeling like Star Trek and using some of the old tropes, but in a modern way. And in this episode, they went to one of my old favorites. These were some of my favorite episodes in the original series, like the kind of the Doomsday Machine type of episodes. With just these space adventures where it's not Kirk, Spock, and McCoy beaming down to a planet, but there's some kind of anomaly they're dealing with in space, and it usually gives a chance for more of the crew to be highlighted, and that was the case here. We got to see a lot more of the crew working together, which I really enjoyed. Now, I do have a couple of complaints about this episode, which I'll get into, but overall, I did really, really enjoy it. And I'll start with the two characters that I think have been neglected this season that stepped up in this episode. One is Gray. I'm glad they're finding something for him to do. And he's hanging out in that bar with the fake fireplace. Still don't get the fake fireplace. But he's not a commissioned officer. And unlike Book doesn't have a lot to offer. So I'm glad that they found a way for him to participate in this episode. But then more importantly, or equally as importantly, is another character who stepped up in this episode is Zora, which she was definitely neglected. And she's definitely a character. She's an artificial life form. I'm still waiting to see if they can actually connect the dots to Calypso, that short track that they did a couple years ago. I kind of don't think they're going to, but it'd be very cool if they did at some point. And I do really love that we are getting Zora more in the forefront, and and kind of seeing her humanity, because unlike Data, she does have emotions and is trying to deal with it. I thought it was a very good highlight of this character who's been mostly neglected. So I really enjoyed that about this episode. And as I said, overall enjoyed the space adventure, being trapped in this void, trying to get out. There have been other episodes like that, but I found that this one was unique for the Discovery crew. And I loved the solution in the end where they all had to go in the pattern buffers. Reminded me of Scotty and poor Franklin. Poor Franklin. I guess I was only 50% genius because poor Franklin. So I'm glad there were no more Franklins and nobody got stuck in the pattern buffer. So that was really good. And I actually kind of liked the ending scene with Burnham and the bridge talking to Zora, and then she ended up playing a song for her, like where the whole bridge is on fire and all that stuff. Thus the name of the episode, Stormy Weather. I really enjoyed that. The negatives, I think this is probably my least favorite book storyline. I don't know. Him arguing with his dad and his dad, you know, I don't know. It just was too, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I just, the thing with people having people in their heads talking to them, like, I don't know. I've seen that so many times, and they have to do it really well for me to want to like it. You got to do it like Mr. Robot style. Otherwise, I'm just kind of, it's trite. So I didn't love it. I would say it was my least favorite book storyline this season. And then the other thing, they did something with, what's her name? Okawa. No, I'm saying her name wrong. They did something with her this week that they did also with Reese last week, and they need to cut it out. Reese did this last week too, where they just all of a sudden, in the midst of something really, dangerous happening, or in Reese's case, he was in the middle of an evacuation, a very important evacuation of a planet, and he stopped to tell the story randomly. When I was a kid, I did, and then they did the same thing. It is so awkward and out of place. They did the same thing with Commander What's Her Face. I don't want to say her name wrong again. They did that this week with her as well, and it's just so random and out of place and weird. I think they're making an effort to develop these characters, but that's not how you do it. Like you do it by having them in the situations and having to respond to the situations, not by having them randomly tell a story from their childhood. This is 2 weeks in a row that they've done this now, and they need to cut that the fuck out. Okay, just stop it. Stop it. Nobody wants to say that. Those would be the negatives for this episode. But overall, I found it to be a very strong episode, a very good ensemble episode of Star Trek Discovery. And yeah, love me some Zora, love me some Gray. I don't know how they're going to find ways to get him more involved moving forward. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is this information that the people or person or whoever created the DMA is apparently from another galaxy, which points to somebody we've never met before. The only species I can think of off the top of my head that came from another galaxy was in the original series episode by any other name. I think they were called the Kelvins. And they, I really liked that episode. I liked how they, finally got creative with the aliens, even though they have that low budget. So they said that they were these, I forgot what they said they looked like. They had, tentacles and some whatever, but they were in human form, because otherwise it's just all these alien races that look exactly like humans, or humans with bumps on their head, and at least in that case they were saying they looked normally way different, but they were disguised as humans, which you got to do because they're low budget in the TOS days. I really like that species, but I don't think it would be them, would it? That would be weird. I think it's probably going to be some race of creatures that we haven't met, which could be interesting. It could be interesting. As I've said before, I was not thrilled about this whole idea that somebody is controlling the DMA, or somebody created the DMA, but I'm open to it. I would rather it be something like that than Michael Burnham caused the DMA, or it's Osiris, and your little dog too, or she would say in the book, your little cat too, anything like that. So we'll see how they play it. I do find it interesting, though, that it's from another galaxy. So we'll see. We will see what they do with that. So this is going to be a short review. As I said, this is probably my shortest review of the season. I don't really have a whole lot more to say, so I'm just going to go ahead and end with my rating out of 10. So, as per usual, 1 is the lowest possible score, 10 the highest possible score, and my rating out of 10 for Stormy Weather, an 8. Hesitated there for a second. I think it's a solid 8. I really, really enjoyed it, but I also don't feel like it's 9 or 10 territory. And they need to cut it out with these like people randomly telling stories about their childhood. But overall, very strong episode of Discovery, and continues 6 episodes in. It continues to be a very strong season. So I hope that they will carry that forward onto next weekend into the new year. Okay, so that does it for my review of Star Trek Discovery Season 4, Episode 6. Check out my channel tomorrow for 2 new videos that should be posted. 7 a.m. West Coast time will be the premiere of my worst show of 2021 video. And then at some point later in that day, I will get my review of the Wheel of Time season finale will be up there. And tomorrow evening, Merry Christmas. Join me on Christmas Eve over on Enchantment of Eternity as I discuss Star Trek Voyager seasons 6 and 7 with my brother Mark over on his channel Enchantment of Eternity, our Star Trek Voyager season 7, or as I will like to call it, it's the Doctor in 7 and 9 show. That's really what it is. Anyways, I'll tell you more about that tomorrow, so please join me for that, and I will see you very soon. Goodbye.